So, hello guys. I've been working in some projects lately. First of them being these horses that you see here. I just based them as they came from the box I got them from. They belong to 11 Minas Tirith knights. As you can see here, these two I could not remove them from the horse, so they remain there. I tried to remove them all to paint them separately and to convert them, but these ones wouldn't, so I just left them and, did all the work while they were sitting there. Which made it a bit harder, but whatever. This is 3 that I converted and restored because I didn't have enough spears, they were broken and so on, so with my leftover pieces I gave them the spears they were missing, as you can see there. So this is another 3 that I managed to put together with the stuff I had. This one in the middle, I didn't have more spears, so I said, hey, I'm gonna give you a sword and you're gonna be a captain, in the same way that I didn't have another one with a small banner, so I said I'm gonna give you a bigger banner, which I'm yet to do, but I will fix it eventually. But I mean, it was a matter of finding the solutions for it. Here you see the captain a bit more in a close-up before he was painted, and this is how they turned out after the classical Minas Tirith painting. Nothing too crazy. I'm getting used to the camera, sorry. So as you can see there, like just with a normal color scheme, a good basing, I managed to pick these guys up that I got from Australia after being sitting in a box for a long time, to be again, usable knights, which I think look very cool, with some conversions to make them a bit more dynamic and stuff, but also like because I had to use pieces since I didn't have enough, which I think works very well. I'm very happy with this little project. It didn't require anything too crazy, but I enjoyed it a lot, and now I have my 11 knights of Minas Tirith to accompany my Boromir, Elessar, whatever it is that we go with. Which leads me to this. I was, going over my sprues, and I saw these couple sprues with Minas Tirith soldiers, and I have a bunch of them, but I said, hey, what if I start working with these guys, since I don't have Osgiliath variants? So I just removed all the pieces, and the next process I did was to pick up my tweezers and basically get rid of the heads, because I thought that a good way to make my Osgiliath veterans stand out, I thought that they should be unhelmeted, so they will look different from the normal Minas Tirith soldiers. And if they were to have helmets, they have them different. So the process I'm doing here is to just remove all the heads and clean up the bodies. So as you can see here, I ended up with 12 beheaded Minas Tirith soldiers. So I have been working a little bit off camera with some of the soldiers and mixed up, miniatures I have from what I picked up secondhand. And I wanted to show you 3 projects I'm doing at the same time, because they are intercoursed, like the pieces of one are used in the parts of others. So I think it's a pretty cool project overall. I need to get my hands on more Numenor warriors, but we'll get to that. So first project that I was thinking of is to make some Osgiliath veterans. And for example, this guy here, as you can see, he's standing on a rock, has extra equipment. All of my Osgiliath veterans don't have helmet, so they're easily recognizable, or if they have helmets, they have other helmets that are not the normal Minas Tirith ones. So you see here extra arrows and so on. All of them have, different poses, and they have been converted from some Minas Tirith soldiers that I got, and Perry miniatures and big tricks pieces. So you see here this guy with a bit of rope around the body, new helmet, and they're all standing in gravel and stuff, so so they look like they are in a ruined city. This one has an axe on the back as extra weapon, and then I gave him a roll of tape to represent, I don't know, blanket, something like that I guess they will need if they're living. This one has a backpack done the same method with the same tape and so on. So as you can see there, like, there is a lot of conversion. This one was made with a sword on the back, a head from one of the proxies from my Axeman, also Sarnak. Yeah, so I made a bunch of guys like this with several extra weapons, and you know. So since I made these guys that you're gonna see later all together, I had the Minas Tirith heads left, and I said, why don't I try to make troops from 2 new fiefdoms that are not included, and then when I use them in games I will just use them like regular Minas Tirith soldiers, right? So the first thing I thought is, there is this article in the White Dwarf. I don't remember the number. I will put it on the screen when I find out. There's this White Dwarf article that talks about the reinforcements from the fiefdoms, and they start like the first alternative versions to Lamedon, Losarnak, and so on. That then, after that, is when they actually released the official miniatures for some fiefdoms, but some of them never got them. So I said, hey, why don't I try to make a Pelargir force following what they show on that on that article. So I got some Rohan warriors, I put some Numenor heads on them and some Numenor shields, and this is what comes off as Marines or Wardens of Pelargir. It's not painted by me. This Rohan warrior was painted when it came secondhand, so I just converted it as it was, and then I'm gonna paint them all. I have a scholar scheme in mind that I will, you know, show you eventually when I have at least some of them ready, or all of them. We'll see. This video is gonna be spread in quite a while of time. So yeah, I got a bunch of these guys with the original shields that came like this. So old Rohan warriors, head swap, shield swap, and weapon swap. So they all have either a sword or a spear. There is some that have recasted shields with sprue goo because I don't have enough. And right now I have made 8 of them because I don't have more Numenor soldiers to get the heads from. Shields I can make unlimited right now, but yeah. As you can see there, like, I think they work out pretty well. And I have a mock-up color scheme for them. I want them to be like, you know, light blue with dark blue with the cloaks in like ivory color. I think it's gonna look very good. So I'll show you when I'm done with that.
Yeah, I picked this inspiration from the Knights of Jerusalem in Kingdom of Heaven. I think the contrast between the dark blue and the light blue looks very good, plus the gold in the details. It makes them look classic, like tied to tradition, but at the same time different enough than normal Numenor soldiers and normal Gondor. So I think they look very nice. I don't know, I'm very happy. It was a very simple conversion, very simple process, and you know, I can't wait to get more of this.
And then of course I was left over with some Numenor warriors, Minas Tirith heads, but no shields. So I said, why don't I make a force of Penith Gelin? Penith Gelin, the green hills of Gondor, they sent some troops to Minas Tirith according to the books with their lord Hirulin the Fair. Hirulin, I made him with a Theoden head that I had left over and the body of a metal Faramir, which I still have to paint, but I think it looks pretty nice. It stands out a lot with the, you know, the armor looks different, and since it has a non-helmeted head, it's gonna be fine, easier to find. And then his troops, I made them combining those parts that I told you, right? So for example, if I show you this guy, he's a Numenor soldier with big tricks and late Romance, I think it is, shield. and a Minas Tirith head in there. So they look very Gondorian. They look a bit more, not so heavy armored. This one I can show you. It doesn't have a shield yet. I have to make more. So they look Gondorian. They have these tabards from the Numenor, but they don't look as heavy armored, which I think it's okay, because Pinnath Gelin, according to the lore, is a place of, you know, trade and a lot of. These guys are mostly guardians rather than regular soldiers, but they go to Gondor to help for the war nevertheless. So I think they look very good. The good thing about these guys is that I had one that came primed before I did the conversion. So right now I spent quite a while trying to, trying to get the color scheme down. And I got this. So as you can see, green shield. I'm gonna have to put some decals on it or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, or freehand it. With the green cloak, super green. I love this color. It's contrast Citadel Carandra's green, and some like light brown, whitish contrast there. White details on the tabard.
And here is the final result of my Osgiliath veterans. Once primed, I applied a bunch of marks on the shields and armor with a hobby knife to make them look like they have seen some action. I added some band-aids and stuff here and there with paper tape, extra weapons. They're all standing in, these bases with rocks to look like ruins. So I think they look distinctive enough and at the same time tied with the actual Minas Tirith and Gondor. And here we have my Pinnath Gelin. I'm very happy with these guys. They just look, I don't know, very good for me. I love the combination of the green with the white and the armor. They look very nice in my opinion. And I'm very happy that with such an easy conversion and such a classic work, I got this result that I'm so proud of. I cannot wait to do more of these guys. I cannot wait to do more of the Pelargir guys. But, there's a lot of projects coming your way now. Quick video about everything I've been working on the last couple weeks. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, probably shortly, with some evil stuff.